You're listening to BBC Coventry and Warwickshire, introducing with me, Martin Winch, and my next guest has been playing music in Coventry and across, well, pretty much the rest of the world for many, many years, performing in bands like the Wild Boys, Tearjerkers, Bonediggers, Three Men in Black, and his current ensemble, Skabilly Rebels, and some band called The Specials. You may have heard of them. Yes, it's a privilege to welcome Mr. Radiation, Roddy Byers, onto the show. Hello, Roddy.
Hello, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. Now, we were actually in the same room last year, but I spent most of my time actually having to watch you from a giant TV screen suspended a few foot above you. It was at the Rico Arena. Nice to have you. Yes, nice to have you a little bit closer to the hand, within touching distance.
Quite a large room.
Yes, with several thousand friends. What was it actually like playing such a big stage in your home city?
It's a shame it's sort of like there isn't more venues. It's probably all musicians say that, I suppose. Like the Rico's not ideal, but it does hold a lot of people. Yeah.
Would you want a slightly smaller venue, a bit more intimate, or just a much bigger one?
Well, Tiffany's was quite nice, and the Hippodrome was quite good as well. But
how many did Tiffany's hold in its heyday?
2,000-3,000 maybe, I don't know.
That's quite a few.
I didn't count them.
There were lots, just sort of like a sea of faces and what have you. Obviously, Specials reforming, how pleasing was that?
It might sound weird, but I kind of expected it and kind of dreaded it, and I kind of sort of like thought it'd happen again. Which, it sounds kind of weird, but like, I don't know, it's written in the stars or whatever, you know.
Because obviously, when the first time around, it was actually quite a shortish period, wasn't it? But obviously, you left your
it was only
mark.
Probably two years of actually being in the charts.
Were you surprised with the sort of response this time around, with gigs being sold out?
We thought there'd be some response, because like we'd all been like doing little bits similar for quite a while, and we knew if we got more or less the original lineup back together, there'd be like a call for it. But we were quite knocked out. I think the majority of the crowd seemed to be sort of like the ones that probably like were the younger brothers and sisters of the people that saw us in the day and weren't old enough to see us. So like most ones I spoke to were like probably 13 or 11 or 12.
Well, you're touring still with the Specials. You've got a gig coming up at the Royal Albert Hall, haven't you, later this year?
Yeah, the Teenage Cancer Trust, Roger Daltrey's thing he does every year apparently, and 29th of March. I've played there once before the Bonediggers.
Oh, right. So you got previous experience then?
Yeah, so it'd be a huge sort of dome with a terrible sound, and
so it's not good acoustically then?
Well, I wasn't impressed then, but I guess if you got more speakers it might be better, you know?
Well, if people can't get along to that and didn't manage to get to the gigs last year, or if they did, you do have a DVD, fingers crossed, coming out.
You know, so it's the main thing.
That's a good cause, and you've got the DVD, live DVD coming out as well, haven't you?
At the same time, March time, yeah. That's Wolverhampton, so that was a pretty good gig. Some of the reaction of the crowd was better than other gigs, but like, you know, SOD's law, like, you know, like, but it was okay. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
And then obviously off to America following that. You got
in April, apparently, end of April. Yeah, we're doing a TV. Is it some guy Fallon's show?
Oh, right. Someone else is organising this tour.
No idea, but like But it's one way of getting over the people, millions of people, without sort of doing the Midwest, the Bible Belt, you know.
Yeah. Do you have fond memories from previous tours over there?
Some. No, it's all a bit overwhelming because of the size of the place, anyway.
Yeah.
And like all of us growing up on American music, it won't be like Tamla, rock and roll, or country, or whatever. Like, it's always an education, and always pleasure to be there, but it can be a bit scary, but then again, like, so can Coventry
on any given night. Yeah. The Skabilly Rebels then, how long's that project been going?
Is it 4 years now? Is it 5? Time flies by, you know.
It's a fusion of ska and rockabilly, hence the name, I guess.
It's what I've been doing since the 80s, really. Like, it's just the way my take on music, you know, like whatever I like, I tend to throw into the into the pot, stir it up, and what comes out? Skabilly.
Now people can actually listen to that. I'll be playing a track of yours in a moment, Lonesome No More, and at the end of this show as well I'll play Blues Attack, which is the title from your current album. Is this the first or second or third album with Skabilly Rebels?
It's the first album. I had an anthology come out of my earlier bands on an independent label in America and Germany before, but like this is like the real thing. The
real deal. And it came out at the back end of last year, didn't it? So it's fairly fresh.
It's taken a while, so I basically didn't have the money to sort of like record it before. Like, you know, recently, you know, obviously with the specials, things have been a bit better, like cash-wise, but it was all like counting the pennies and sort of like dragging people in the studio, like a local studio as well. That's it. It's
Moonbase, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you recorded.
John Moonbear, the producer's a nice guitar player, and he sort of made us sort of stop drinking so much and play guitar better.
Fair enough. It's fair to say that you wrote some classics with the specials, Rat Race, Concrete Jungle, a couple of them. How do your current crop compare to those?
It's very hard to sort of say what song's better than the next song. Like, we had the manager of the Police, who in the 90s said, just change the words to the first specials album and I'll sign you up.
Fair enough.
You know, I mean, like, just play the same music, just change the words, you know. So that's what you're up against sometimes, you know. But you write songs and you hope they're as good as what you wrote previously, you know. That's up to people to tell me.
Yeah, and you've written a song about the missus this time.
Yes.
Is it portraying her in a good light?
It's basically an apology. It's an apology for like coming home late and I've been happy while you've been sad. But the Buddy Holly sort of like take on it. It's like Buddy Holly come ska, a bit of power pop.
Right, okay.
Green Day sort of like here and
Blimey, some contemporary influences then.
It's like a very strange sort of meal where you throw in chili peppers and curry and all sorts in there.
Got out you 24 hours later if that's what you're sticking in.
Oh, yeah.
We'll play that in a sec, as I say. Just in terms of the Rebels, how many are in there? Because obviously the list of credits goes on quite a bit.
Yeah, well, the band lineup has changed because, like I say, it was recorded over about 4 years. So like, there's quite a few local musicians, you know, Ted Duggan, Mickey Roberts from King. He played keyboards on one of the tracks, and there's quite a few local guys.
That's it. And
I could go on forever.
Well, we've been championing the Voodoo Kings recently. Well, this month, in fact, 'cause they're our band of the month, and obviously Sam Smith, the bass player, and that he's played.
Well, Sam's always been there as someone to keep me together. You know what I mean? Like, he's the kind of bloke that plays bass, double bass, guitar. No matter what happens, I just seem to like still have him in the band. You know?
Yeah. That's it. And his bandmate at the moment, Dave West, I mean, both of them played with you in Bonediggers.
Yeah, we did several tours of Europe with the Bonediggers and that, yeah.
And Whippet as well on drums, you know. Yeah. It's one big happy Skabilly rockabilly family.
It's nice to use musicians that you know and you trust.
Okay, well, we'll chat some more, Roddy, a little bit later on. In the meantime, on BBC Coventry and Warwickshire, introducing This Is Lonesome No More by Skabilly Rebels.
I've been happy while you've been sad. Sometimes good, but mostly bad. I know sometimes that I made you sick. Ain't when I fell in love and fell out of it. But now, I'm lonesome on my heart. I know you lie alone nearly every night when I don't come home until the morning light. 'Cause I've been happy while you've been sad. Sometimes good, but mostly bad. And now, well, I'm lonesome on my heart. I'm just trying to write this letter to you, tell you why I'm not lonesome blue. Because you're the only one I ever got much upon.
I'm Martin Winch, and my guest on BBC Coventry and Warwickshire introducing really is a living legend of these parts. He's Roddy Radiation of the Specials and Skabilly Rebels. Now, Roddy, hello again.
Hello.
Hello. We touched on the two music projects earlier. We'll talk about both again. Going back to the two-tone first. Now, it celebrated its 30th anniversary last year. Do you think it will be as revered in another 30 years' time?
I hope we're all still around by then.
Obviously, last year, to mark the event, Pete Chambers, local music historian, he's really championing the cause.
Pete's really kept it going, and that, even when some of us weren't so, enthusiastic occasionally. Pete will occasionally sort of send me an email like, "Would you like to open so-and-so event in Compuso?" And I'm like, "Well, no, not really." Let me play guitar someplace, and I can relate to that. But to be a local celebrity and turn up and stand there like, who's he?
Did you not like the sort of the finger pointing? Oh, there's Roddy from the Specials. You'd much prefer just immersing yourself in your work.
You don't mind when you know what the reason is. If you like playing a gig or it's something to do with the music, but to actually turn up, I was asked to do several things anyway. I've been asked to judge band competitions and stuff, and I don't agree with it anyway. So I'd rather not. I feel more comfortable with a guitar in my hands.
With the Specials, if you had to pick out one standout moment, do you reckon you could, or do you think just the whole experience? Well,
recently, the first gig in Newcastle on the first reunion tours, it was pretty emotional. I think we all had tears in our eyes almost. It was that kind of strange because we knew there was people wanting to see us, but it was kind of emotional. But the band's always been kind of emotional, one way or another.
Now, I'm guessing the gigs with the Rebels are very much more of an intimate flavour as opposed to the ones with the Specials. Yes, a little bit smaller. No need for the Rico Arena on these ones.
No, not on these, no. But it's what I enjoy doing. There's quite a large percentage of Specials fans like what I do and understand that my elements I put into the Specials, so they come check it out, so we're all happy.
Yeah. What can people expect? Are you a bit of a showman on stage?
Well, it's still that sort of clash, sort of punky, come rock and roll, come ska, with a touch of country, and it's just songs, songs about real feelings and life,
Yeah. You hold your guitar down relatively low, don't you?
Well, yeah, I got a bad back. Arthritis in your shoulder.
Too heavy an instrument. That's one of my gripes with the Beatles. I for some reason, it's purely irrational.
I was also a Stones fan myself.
It's the fact that they hold the guitars under their armpits.
Well, his bass quite high, but he's lowered his strap recently.
Oh, right.
I don't know what reason that's for, I don't know.
Okay, he'll be in the back bag.
But I've hired mine slightly.
Oh, right.
I used to wear mine Ramones style, very low, but you just end up round-shouldered,
Not the posture that you want. Now,
no.
You've already mentioned Mr. Dammers. He's obviously coming to the Warwick Arts Centre in March with his...
I've got a ticket.
You are going?
Yeah, we're going with my wife and all our friends, yeah.
Fantastic. Will you be going backstage?
I saw Jerry at a friend of ours, mutual friends, funeral, Tansy, Bottrell, Redford, I think, a married name, who died day before New Year's Day. And I walked into and there's Jerry, and Jerry was really, really, really friendly,
Yeah.
So we had a great chat. But I suppose we're all getting older now, so when it comes to those kind of situations, you don't you put aside your differences musically or whatever,
How close was he to being part of that Reform tour?
We had rehearsals, meetings, but Jerry's take on the music, he always wants to push the boundaries. I do, but in a different way. And when you've got several guys in the band wanting to push the boundaries different ways, it tends to go a bit strange.
With the Skabilly Rebels, when will they be gigging again? Because obviously you've got this thing with the Specials. You've got the
next local gigs, March the 6th.
March the 6th. So that'll be
Saturday,
prior to the Specials playing at Albert Hall and then going off to America.
Neville does his own stuff with his band, and I do my own stuff. It's trying to fit it in. Because obviously the Specials might not carry on forever. If it last another year or two. Depends on whether we record any more new material.
Are there plans to do new material?
Some of us would like to, and some of the guys would rather not.
Are you in the pro camp then?
I'm in the pro camp, only because I write songs.
Fair enough. Could do with the royalties, eh?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Oh, when you got children or grandchildren even, and the way the job situation is nowadays, you need to sort of help everybody.
Definitely.
I mean, Mum's getting old as well.
Your influences musically, have they changed much as the years have gone by? I mean, you mentioned a Green Day influence in the previous part of this interview.
It's more of a case of sort of their influences are probably from like similar to mine, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. It's probably still early blues, early rock and roll, Stones. You could write a huge list,
Yeah.
But if you're a musician, you take bits from everywhere and just steal bits, and stick them in a pot, stir them up, and hopefully it comes out sounding like your stuff.
Yeah, and no one's finger pointing saying, "Hang on a sec, I'm sure I wrote that bit." Yeah. Well, your current album then with Skabilly Rebels is Blues Attack. That's available at your website. What's your web address for that?
RoddyRadiation.com, small letters.
So there's 16 tracks, and as you say, you've kind of written those over the last few years or so.
Yeah, I'm still writing now. I've got a whole bunch of new ones I'd like to do.
And they could either be recorded by the Rebels or the Specials.
Well, there's a couple on the album I'd work with the Specials, but it just depends on how they feel about it, I guess.
Okay, well, make sure you push the issue with them, because I'm sure there's many people out there, Specials fans, would love to be able to hear some new material.
All over the world, people like it. So, like Japan, we went to Japan and Australia last year, and they're all mad for it. And a lot of countries we haven't been to yet, So long we don't weaken, we'll be okay.
But in the meantime, the fresh music is by the Skabilly Rebels. As I say, we played Lonesome No More, a song about your wife. Blues Attack, we're going to play that now. It's the title track. What's that about? I presume not your missus.
It's teenage angst. It's sort of...
how long ago did you write that?
Not long ago.
Not long ago.
I've got teenage daughters, you see.
Ah, right.
It's sort of about, not self-harm, but it's in that kind of sort of gritty kind of thing,
What's it like? You say you got your teenage daughters. What's it like seeing their teenagers? If you remember back to your teenage years, because that's probably what formed a lot of your opinions and made you want to go out on the rock and roll route.
Well, my father played in a band, so it was a case of I didn't go to university, so you're not very clever, learn an instrument. There doesn't seem to be as much opportunities now than there was in them days,
Right.
So, and neither of my daughters want to do music.
They don't. Fair enough.
Like nursing and what's Carly want to do? Be rich, I think.
I think that's something that we all aspire to be. Anyway, Roddy, many thanks for joining me on BBC Coventry and Warwickshire Introducing. It's been an absolute pleasure, and as promised, this is Blues Attack.
Well, I see you living in a private hell.